I like ribbon microphones, and I use them as much as possible because of the natural sound that they have. I want to get a good instrument into the room and then try to get the sound of that instrument over there. I think ribbon microphones have the most natural sound. Also, ribbon microphones take EQ very, very well. If you do want to change something, an equalizer, put an equalizer on, they take it very well. Sometimes if you have a condenser mic and you put an equalizer on, it starts sounding harsh, and ribbon mics don't do that. So that's why I like them, and they have a smooth top end, that is not aggressive. It's just natural sounding to me.
To me, if you have an aggressive instrument, you can still get that aggression with a ribbon microphone. But if you have an instrument that's not aggressive, the microphone won't make it aggressive. A lot of times people are tracking instruments that sound so nice, but then when you pull up the faders to mix, you have a lot to fix because of the additional high-end that condenser mics give.
Yes.
Or the sort of lack of transient response and things that some dynamics will give. And if you like the sound of an instrument in the room and you want to capture that, ribbons just do a beautiful job.
I've used ribbons when I didn't even know that they were ribbons. Way back in the 80s, and put them in front of guitar cabinets, and I didn't know it was a ribbon mic, and I kept breaking it and go, wow, this thing is very, fragile. Kept sending them in.
Yeah.
And but there was already, this is what sounds good on that.
The difference now with the 121s is that they're built to be very tough. So instead of putting them in front of a guitar amplifier and having them break after an hour or two,
right,
you can put it up in a guitar amplifier for years.
Yeah,
it's designed for that.
Which we have been doing, yes.
Yeah, I think. Have you ever blown?
No.
One of your mics?
No.
And you've had them
it's extremely loud in there. Extremely loud. I mean, if you go into the room, you start feeling sick. That's how loud it is. And the mic is this far from the speaker and lives.
Yeah.
To have a more coherent picture, so my actual recording is, they already figured out how to make that sound good in stereo, so I don't have to think about it. If you use two different mics, you have to figure out the distance from the snare, from each microphone, and there's somewhere, I've done that as well. We've used two 121s as overhead microphones. But Roya already figured out how to make it sound good and have a nice stereo picture. So it gives me a nice overall picture of the drum set.
The Bloom line recording technique is something that a lot of engineers use. And with the SF12, the microphone is locked at 45 degrees from center on each ribbon transducer. So that's a Bloom line microphone. So you get the Bloom line stereo image, which makes it very easy for an engineer to capture a nice stereo image. And with that microphone, if the logo is pointed at the sound source, in this case we point the logo at the snare drum, that centers the microphone. That's how you know where the center is. You just point that logo at the snare, it's in the center, and the rest of the image is left and right of the snare.
I listen for the reflections in the room. There is, obviously there's standing waves in every room. And you want to put the drums somewhere where you get the nice low end and a fat tone. So I was wandering around, listening to what that drum sounded like while I was wandering around. And I liked this area. For some reason it had a lot more guts in this area when I was hitting the tom. So this is where we put the drums.